Welcome back, everybody. Fortunately, Michael and I aren't going to be doing any chocolate and getting messy, so
Unfortunately
this will be a
not.
little better. I'm super excited to have somebody here with us tonight. Fortunately, he doesn't have to work. Normally, he'd be working tonight, but this is a gentleman named Michael, and he was one of our first foster kids that came into Gap Ministries in 1999, and he's going to share a little bit about his story and what it's been like to be at Gap. So. How old, Michael, were you when you came in, and what are some memories you have or anything you can think about your early days at Gap?
I was a year and a half. Me and my sister, so I was a year and a half, and my sister was 3. We were the third and fourth kid in Gap. So we weren't number 1 and 2, which kind of makes me sad, but it's okay. One of my earliest memories, me and my mom, I was one of the younger ones. I think I was the youngest in the house. But me and my mom would get like a really big sheet and like, kind of like this, and we would put it over the dining room table, and we would like play with toys underneath it, and that's kind of like the earliest memory. So since I was young, I got to spend a lot of time with, I didn't know at the time, but my future mom. But yeah, that was fun.
How old were you when you were adopted by the heirs?
2000, it was in 2004, so I was about 6.
6? Okay.
5 or 6.
Okay.
But yeah, for my earliest memory is them. So they've been my parents in my mind my whole life.
Since
So
you were
like,
little.
yeah.
So his house parents at our very first Splash House. Splash Houses is what we call our group homes, and it stands for Spirit Powered Love, Aggressively Shaping Hearts. And so Greg and Pam Ayers, who started this ministry and started Gap, they had the first Splash House, and they were the first house parents. So that's who he's talking about when he's talking about his mom, Pam Ayers.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since you've gotten older.
So obviously they adopted me. I lived a pretty wonderful life. And after high school, I decided to go to ministry school up in California. And kind of my whole life, like I knew we went to church and I knew about God, but I didn't really know Him like in my heart. And so that was kind of like my choice. Like I really want to learn more about Jesus, and so I went. I thought I was only going for 1 year. But every year I wanted to come home, and the Lord was like, no, like we're going to stay and we're going to continue. And I got a lot of healing, inner healing that I didn't know that I needed. Um, and since going, like I have my own personal relationship with the Lord. Not to piggyback off of my parents, but they helped me tremendously. But that was a decision that I made on my own, and it was the greatest decision I've could have made.
So what changed when you got to, and it was the Bethel, what?
Bethel School of Supernatural Discipleship.
And it's up in the San Francisco area?
Yeah, it's a little north of San Francisco. It was one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
And what was different for you when you went there? What made you decide to make it a personal relationship?
It's a good question.
It just, list.
I know, it wasn't in the list. I wasn't prepared. So growing up with obviously Pam and Greg, I got to be around them, and I saw their personal relationship with the Lord, and it made me really want more. I wanted my own, and I learned that the Lord's relationship with everyone is so different and so vast, and one person can have, they can meet the Lord in drawing or singing or, but yeah, I just wanted my own relationship with the Lord, and yeah, I have that now.
So what else happened to you while you were in ministry school?
This was not the plan, but I ended up finding my wife there. She was actually, quote unquote, a grade above me, so I went after the older girl. Yeah. Yeah, and she was actually one of the pastors there when I was a third year, so that was crossing all the lines. But we ended up getting married, and we've been married for a year and a half. We just got a baby, she just delivered a baby.
You just got one historic problem,
and we went and
right?
bought one, yeah. Found it at Target. It was a great deal.
Oh, I wish we could have her up
It was a
here.
Black Friday
I only
deal.
invited Michael so we could actually have Ronan here, but that's okay.
But yeah, her name is Ronan Joy Ayers, and she has been nothing but joy in our family. Yeah.
And what are you and your wife doing these days?
So after we got married, we were in California for about 6 or 7 months, and we felt that the Lord was saying to come work for Gap and come serve. And we both love ministry, so we decided to come, and we got to be house parents. And so now I'm working at Splash 13. It was kind of be like full circle, so it's been wonderful working in the house.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is a real first full circle story with one of the very first kids in Gap now as a house parent Gap. So how is it being a house parent since you went through that all? You were that kid that you're now talking to that comes in. How does that work for you?
I kind of have an advantage over most people. I can connect with the kids on a very deep personal level. I've had many times where I'm like, "Hey guys, like look, I've been where you're at. Like I get it," and not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
Like, and so then the kids are like, "Oh, I can't really argue because you've been here." So it's helped me a lot to connect with them and really build that relationship with them, and it's been wonderful. We've seen multiple kids in our home say yes to the Lord, and it's not really what I've said. It's more of just like consistent love to them, and that's the biggest key: consistency
Yeah.
with love, and meeting them exactly where they're at.